But
why.
you're
That's
saying
it.
it's because of their race, so therefore you're
No,
mixing
no,
race
you're
and
saying that.
IQ. No, I'm not
No,
saying. Wait,
I
what? Did
never.
you just? You can't just like this isn't Uno. You can't just reverse like racism card on me, dog. That's not how like debate works. Wait,
No, no,
what?
no.
I changed my whole life when I learned to ignore them. I changed my whole.
What do you want to talk about? We got like what 10 minutes? That's perfect.
Yeah, yeah. So I want to talk about how Antonio Brown being in the NFL and running a 4.4 has nothing to do with his genetics.
Okay, do you
Ready,
think
go.
speed is all genetics? I mean, yeah, like there's certain things like muscle
To
mass
run
and
a
all
four
that.
four, sure, sure. To run a 4.4, there's going to be a certain amount of fast twitch muscle required. That is going to depend on athletic genetics.
Okay, sure, but I don't think
Yeah,
that's like
so
the
that supports
deciding
that
factor. It's
supports that
still
my premise
like I
that to
said.
become
Well, yeah,
elite.
I get your premise, and I've never said that that is not a factor. I'm just saying that that is a very minor factor compared to skill or like actual like how much time you
Speed is
put
not
into
skill.
it. Well,
Speed is
part
not
of it is
skill.
skill, right? You still or like
No,
time you put into like you still have to work hard to be fast. Like it's not just like I have good
speed is
genetics, so therefore I'm like the fastest. That's not how that works.
no, no. Speed is not a skill. It's not it's an attribute, but it's not it's actually not a skill.
So it's you're right, but it's something you still like have to work for to like you have to work
So
hard to
so
be
like for
faster.
example, like for example, most people don't reach their full height, right? Because most people they only end up being 99% of what their true height could be. But
I guess.
you can't then say that height isn't genetic, right? So
Right,
it's
I
like
would never say that because there's
there
nothing you can
there
do
are
to make
people who are
yourself
just
like,
there are
you
people
know,
who are
taller.
genetically
Well, I guess
there are
there
people
are,
who are
but
genetically
right, but like,
superior at running,
well, sure, but
and
there are
there's
well, no, but like this is the thing, you can't really make yourself taller that easily. You can make yourself faster, like pretty easier, like just
there's
through
a
like hard
there's the
work.
vast majority of humans do not have the capacity to 99%
Wait, wait. So if
of
you're
humans.
saying that I like ran a mile on a treadmill and increased my speed every single day by like just a little bit, I wouldn't be faster by like a year? Because I can
Sure,
guarantee you, I
you
can do
can
that. I can
improve a
do
little
that.
bit.
Like
Yeah.
I don't want to do that, but I could.
No, no,
And
yeah,
you know,
you can improve, but 99% of human beings, regardless of how much they train, will never be physically able to run a 4.4
well, sure, because it takes a
because of
lot of effort.
no, because of their genetics, because of
Wait,
biological
so yeah,
limitations.
this is how I would do. So it's like bodybuilders, right? Genetics makes it easier to build muscle or do certain things or be stronger, but that doesn't mean you can't.
So I want to define elite. What I said elite, I said in
Wait,
order
why are
to
we
be
going back
elite,
to elite? Okay,
because this is what the whole premise was about. In
I
order to be
guess.
elite, you have to be genetically elite, and then you also have to put it in the work. So only
Right,
the
but
people who
like,
are
wait, but like,
genetically elite
but wait,
and
wait,
put in the
wait, wait,
work
hold
are
on.
able
But
to
like,
actually be
yes,
elite.
are we still talking about sports? Or are we talking about like just life in general?
Elite can extend to other
No, what are
aspects. I
we
think
talking about? Not
sports.
what it can. What are we talking about, Doug?
So sports
No, no, no.
is an
Right. So are we
obvious
talking about just
example
sports, or are we talking about
of
in general? So are we doing examples, or are we doing just sports? I need you to be very clear
you can
here.
extend elite.
No,
I
I'm
would
not saying
consider
what I'm
elite
saying. What
human
the fuck?
beings.
In what premise? In what like actual like framework are we talking about? Are we just talking about sports? Or are we talking about like elite as a broad
No,
term that can
bro.
cross
Do you
all
want to know
like
the answer?
boundaries?
Do you want to know the answer? Like I'm trying to answer, and then you're
Yes,
saying
but
no, 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 and then you're asking
you
me
just keep
the same
saying
question.
examples or it can. I
I
want
said
like
yes. Yes. No, 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 no. You're not listening to my answer. So
okay.
I said yes. You can extend elite to other aspects of life as well. Sports is just the most easiest example of a meritocracy. So it's easy to point to that and then draw
Wait,
right.
but
And it
wait.
was the example
Okay.
you brought up.
Yeah, go for it.
So yeah, that was my premise. And then yesterday, that's what I was trying to say. I
Okay,
said
but that's not that. Okay, so
elite.
that's not a framework, dog. Like we need to like actually
No,
understand. Like
no.
so, like are we?
What the
So
fuck?
it sounds like what you're talking about is very like broad. Like as in, are we like is this conversation going to hinge on elite in the aspect of just sports, or like as a broad term? Like what are we going to be talking about? That's what I'm saying. Like if we're not on the
Okay,
same page, we
so
can't have
right,
a conversation.
so yesterday you were
New
having some trouble
conversation.
understanding.
Please don't
No,
bring up
no,
yesterday.
right. So yeah, no, no. We're building on top of that. So when I
Cool.
said elite, however we define elite, or superior, however we define superior, and then you were saying, well, if there's no distinct definition, then how are you using it? It's circular. And
Well,
I'm saying
no,
no.
but you just
These are
gave me
terms
like
similar to
yes.
provide
Well, so
or
like yes,
young.
that's a good example.
No,
But
no, hold on.
you wouldn't extend this to business because I don't think like genetics plays a role really in like business or like being a successful like
Sure,
musician or like comedian or something,
sure.
right?
Obviously,
Okay, so we're
Those who
just
have
talking
higher.
about sports.
No, no, no. Obviously, it does.
It wait, so
It.
you think genetics has to do with like being funny or like being a comedian or a
I think
musician
that
or a
people who are
construction
smarter
worker?
are able to be better,
I fundamentally disagree. I think people with
and
higher
people
IQs
who
are
are
actually less
smarter.
funny. No, because that's
So
not how comedy
people who
works.
are
Comedy's not
smarter
just
are also
smart.
better at are better at starting businesses.
Starting business is cool, but like, what if I don't start a business, but I'm like the best at what I do? What if I'm like the best plumber in the world,
Then
and
you're
I
still
don't?
probably
So I'm
then you're still
elite, right?
probably
But do I
elite,
need to
and
be
your
a high
genetics play the
IQ?
fact.
So I'm asking you, is anything that genetic about like the best plumber in the world?
Sure, probably.
What?
I mean, how else would he become the best plumber in the world?
Through like years of like his craft, like so do you know what IQ
So
measures?
with plumbing, I would say that there's going to be a large amount of diminishing returns. Like at some point, you're going to reach a certain understanding of plumbing, and there's not going to be like really
Sure.
the room to have So like, but with other things, when there's not a finite amount of skill that you can acquire, I think that people will
So
continue
so
to.
like what? Give me some like job examples.
So no, no. Well, I mean, I think that just the disparities of the races is a perfect example. Like I think that whites are
Right, but then again, I mean, we
more
just go
capable
back
than
to I can
blacks,
explain this
because
through socioeconomic reasons, Doug. I don't want to go back down this rabbit hole because everything you're gonna say is just like
no,
I
no, but
don't
that's
know,
like an
like
NPC.
everything I
That's
say
like
is just memes, but
that's
it's
like an
not
NPC
like
response. No, 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 it's an NPC response.
but it's not. It's called it's called like
No,
I
no, no,
took
no.
like a high school
It's
his. How is it an NPC
you.
response? Because this
It's
is very obvious to me. Maybe it's NPC because like this is
because
so clear and
poor
you just
black
like don't want
people,
to accept
poor
like
black
common
people compared
sense.
to no, because poor black people compared to poor Asians and poor whites still get outperformed by a wide. So it's not just about being poor.
Okay, I would have to see. But sure, but people. Wait, hold on. But like, you would have to take into circumstances, right? Like, wait, do you think poor
I'm
black
listening.
people and poor Asians like live in the same circumstances in like different
No, I mean,
communities?
I think that Asians make better, like they have more
But do you think
statistical
that they
virtue,
live in the same
so therefore they end up
environment?
in better situations.
Do you think that poor Asians and poor blacks live in
No,
the same environment?
I think poor
No,
blacks
I'm not asking you
destroy
to
their
dodge
environment.
the question, Doug. I just want you a clear answer. Yes or no,
You know, no,
please.
no. Black areas are the shittiest.
So, but that's not what I'm asking, dog. I'm asking, do you think that they have the same environment, as in like the same like surroundings or same like things growing up? Do you think that these are apt
Be
comparisons?
more
Is what I'm
specific.
asking.
You're saying surroundings and
I'm trying to
things.
be very specific. It's like, do you think that they have the
Be
same
specific then.
environment growing up? I don't know how much clearer I can be.
So look, if you ask me if you think that if I have think that they have the same environment, I say to no, black idiots. How is
So
that not
no, I
answering the
guess you're
question?
saying no. So there, I would say that they're not apt comparisons because they do not live in the same environment. So they live in different
Because
circumstances
yeah,
because of different environments,
because
and
black
that is not
people
due to
destroy
genetic reasons. That is
because
due to like
black
what
people just
area they're in, right?
black people destroy their areas. Every area, the more
Can
black
you?
it gets, the more
So I
criminal.
would say that it's not black people. In fact, it's been the powerful who have majority been white. But that's not white people. That's the powerful, right? Okay, so that's the reason why these people are like fucked in these areas is because of redlining and kind of like forcing people to have certain jobs and forcing people into certain socioeconomic classes. These are the reasons why these people are fucked, not because black people
Hey,
destroy
I haven't
environments.
seen any evidence that black people don't destroy every environment that
So I
they're
just
in.
gave you like actual like pretty common like
No, but
historical
about
examples.
you're talking about redlining in America. I'm talking about worldwide.
So
All the
I would say
blacks,
so give
they
me
profit.
I know we can play this game again, dog. Give me a country, give me a region, and I can give you an explanation. Please don't say Ethiopia again because we
Give me a
already did this.
no, hold on. Give me a country, give me a region, and I'll tell you why.
No,
Okay,
no, we're
hold
not
on.
doing this because I
Let
know your reason. It's just gonna be because like race, but I can give you actual verifiable historical reasons. So pick a country.
that doesn't disprove that genetics play.
No, but it kind of like makes more sense than just saying race is IQ and genetics and all
I'm
that.
not saying race is like here.
Yes, you are.
I think that I think a, I think a black with 100 IQ and a white with a
Right,
100
but
IQ and an
no, you
Asian with
think
a
that black
are
people on
different.
average have lower IQs because of their race. So therefore you're saying race is
They
IQ.
blacks on average do have lower IQs than
But you're
whites.
saying it's because of their race. So therefore you're
No.
mixing race
You're
and
saying that.
IQ. No, I'm not
No,
saying. Wait,
I
what? Did you
never.
just? You can't just like this isn't Uno. You can't just reverse like racism card on me, dog. That's not how like debate works. Wait, what?
No. I no. You're saying that my claim is that they have lower IQs because they're black, and I'm not saying that. All I'm saying is
But
that
that's what you've
blacks.
said. Like that's what you've said like previously, and you can't just like say
No,
that's
no,
not what
no.
I'm saying,
I
and then
didn't. Go
describe that claim, and then
go
just be
listen
like,
to
well,
our
that's not what I'm saying.
go listen to our first conversation. Go listen to our first
I've
conversation.
listened to our
That's on YouTube. And
conversation that I've posted on YouTube many times, and that's what you've said, like, or that's what you've like strongly alluded to, and like, I don't know if you've ever said those words, but you've like said everything but, and you argue for that point all the time. So yes,
I know
that's
I
what
made
it
my
sounds
point
like.
very clear. I made my point very clear that on average,
Okay.
different groups by definition have different averages, and on average, whites have more a higher IQs. I think that IQ is
Wait.
based off.
So if it's not because of like race, then it's because of socioeconomic reasons, right? That's my claim. Do you not agree with that?
I don't think it's just socioeconomics. I think
Then
that
what
black
else
people
do you
weren't
think
in a
it
society
is?
because black people weren't in a society that selected for IQ for a long time.
So that's like historical socioeconomic reasons.
Sure, yeah. Geography and all that play a factor into it, of course.
No, you just described like. Okay, Doug. Okay. So you think it's race?
I think it's genetics, but
But
I
where do you
don't
think people get their genetics historically from? Why do you think that white people have better genetics? Is it because they're white?
I don't think any of it's because they're white. I think that white people have higher IQs though, and are more
And why
capable
is
than black.
that? Why? How would you explain that?
I think it's a result of a superior culture and social cooperation.
So it sounds like race because Europe does not have a white people do not have a unified culture.
So what I would say is that if you look at like Jewish culture, and I consider Jews white, they have a strong
Okay, but a lot of people
focus
wouldn't
on. Hold on,
consider Jews white. So
yeah,
that's like
because
problem
because
one.
because the term white is subjective, right? So it depends on who you're talking to. It's just like racist or any of these other words. But what I would say is that Jewish people in their culture, they have a focus on memorization. And it's
Yes,
also
I've heard
because
these. Yes.
it's
I
also
know.
because of their religion. So it's like you can make the
Maybe.
argument that their religion created a culture that then increased their IQ.
Right, but then I could also point to like the Ottoman Empire and like how like the Middle East and Islam had a golden era and like contributed so much to like society, but then when it was colonized,
Yeah.
it went to shit. So like that is like very clear that it's not due to like region, it's due to like a bunch of like
No,
socioeconomic
but
and political,
I don't,
geopolitical factors.
I
Like
don't
a
think
lot of
that
factors
I
play,
don't
but
think that all
race
the
or like
races should
IQ
be.
or anything is really not a factor.
I
Like
don't think
IQ
that
is
any of the races
malleable.
should be in. Yeah, I don't think any of the races should be in competition. I think that Arabs have done a lot. I think that whites have done a lot, and I think that Asians have done a lot.
Oh, okay. I
And I
don't
think that blacks,
sure.
started it all out. So I don't think it's a competition thing, but
Wait, what do you mean
I
black
also
started it all out?
like they were the basis of math and
Oh,
stuff like
okay,
that.
cool.
And then everyone else built on top of it. But yeah, you know,
Yeah.
I I. I also I just don't think it's a coincidence that every single place that's majority white or run by white men is prosperous and
Yeah, but no,
functional and
no,
stable.
this is a relatively new phenomenon. I mean, the Dark Ages was
Sure,
a
in the last
thing.
like yeah,
So
so
like
like for the
wait,
last
like I mean, what
700
if in
years.
like 300 years China is like the dominant rate like dominant like region or like Asia
Yeah.
is the dominant region and then the Asians are just like, well, like I mean, for like all of history Asians have been superior and they just point back to like certain
No
ports
one
and then
hold on,
like
no one's even saying that though. No one's
but like
saying
what if I'm
for
saying
all of
but you know what a
history whites are
hypothetical
superior.
is, dog? I know no one's saying this,
No,
but
no,
it's a
I know, but
hypothetical.
I'm
What
no,
if?
I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that nobody's saying that today about whites. Like I'm not sitting here with the claim
No,
saying
wait,
whites have always
no.
been
But there
superior.
are people saying that, and they make the same arguments that you do.
No, I think that what they say is that a society that becomes less white becomes less nice to live in from
But that's
their
not
perspective.
true.
Well, that's my perspective. That's a lot of
Well,
people's
but your
perspective.
perspective is false. That's just a false
No,
thing to
no,
think.
your perspective. is a perspective, and my perspective is a
So,
perspective,
so you just
and
you
we
just
have
don't
different
like brown
perspectives.
people, is what it sounds like, because crime has fallen over the last couple decades, while like white people have decreased. So, if anything, I can make the argument that we should have less white people because apparently white people commit crimes. But that would be a dumb thing to say because it would be ignoring a lot of other factors, right?
White people commit significantly less crimes than brown and
But
black people.
how come over the last like 40 decades, crime is like violent crime has drastically decreased while white people
Because
have also decreased?
we have we're in a surveillance state, and the advancement
But see,
of
right, yeah,
like
but like,
they
what if
could
I just wanted to ignore those
evidence
factors and
forensic
just
evidence.
pretended causation is correlation,
Well,
right?
then
That would be what you would be doing, and it would be like kind of like an absurd thing to do
no,
because then nothing
no,
would make
no,
sense.
because there are plenty of negative impacts of non-whites moving into white country.
But like, violent crime isn't one of them.
No, but violent crime is going down because we're in a surveillance state and because of forensic
But when you
evidence.
ignore
So
all other
it's a lot
factors,
harder.
like what if I
It's a
just wanted to
lot harder
ignore
to
all
commit crime.
geopolitical and socioeconomic factors and then just make
Who's
one
ignoring
claim?
all those?
You are. Every time I say,
No,
you're
no,
just
no,
like,
no.
well, like I don't like. I mean, like
No, no.
I just
Listen,
from my
hold on. Let's make this
perspective.
clear. Let's make this clear. I'm
Sure.
acknowledging socioeconomics. I'm
Yeah,
acknowledge all these
yeah,
different
but
factors.
like
You're
you're
the one.
also like
Hold on, hold on,
making
hold on.
other conclusions. I
Hold on. Let's finish
understand
the
you
point.
acknowledge
Look,
them.
you're the one that is denying genetics impact for whatever reason, and I think
Genetic.
it's because you're a
Okay.
coward.
Sure, I'm a coward. I'm the
No, no,
biggest
no, no.
coward in the world.
Let me ask you
You
this:
got me.
would you ever tell a black person how black people should improve?
No, I would tell someone how I think they should improve as an individual, but I would never tell someone how
No, no,
like
no, no. So, like, obviously, the black community and thug culture is terrorizing our entire country, and it's responsible for like almost 90% of our gun crimes. So that being the case, is like we have a huge problem. We have a huge gang problem, escalating very
oh sure,
quickly.
yeah, yeah, and I think the answer to that would be to like decrease poverty in those
So,
areas.
people that focus on like fake believe racism opposed to focusing on like gang culture. Don't you think that they're a little bit that's a little bit anti-white?
Not really, because I think the answer to that is to give those communities hope by like trying to like I don't know give alternatives, like trying to like build jobs in those communities, trying to give those people
Yeah.
routes out of like crime. It isn't just like what is blaming them or like acknowledging it going to do. Yes, we acknowledge that it's a problem,
No, no.
but if
Well,
you really
well
want to
like
fix it, let's
you
try to
know,
help these communities. Sure, I'm with you on that.
honest, but like honest critique is a vital part of
But honest
self-reflection.
critique isn't
So
gonna fix anything. We all understand that, like, yes, gang culture is a problem, and like people joining
no,
gangs and like people
no,
killing
no.
each other
But
is a
what I'm saying,
problem. But what do you want to do to fix it,
if
dog?
black
I want to
culture,
fix things. If you just want to sit here and
so
bitch and
yeah,
complain
so
about the issues, then you
how
can
are
do
we
that.
gonna?
But
No, no, no.
well, I
How are
just
we gonna
told you,
fix
relieving
it?
these areas, relieving these
No, no.
impoverished areas by giving
Listen,
these
listen,
communities
listen.
support.
If they're gonna fix their culture, it's gonna have to come from within. How are they gonna fix their culture from within if
How
they
are
don't
you
understand
going
that
to
black people
fix
are the
something
problem?
within when the main problem is socioeconomic reasons and they don't have any socioeconomic capital to actually bring themselves out? You're basically giving someone like a fucking
Hey,
hammer and
let's
saying
take a deep
fix a
breath, bro.
car.
Take a deep breath.
No,
All
stop.
right.
Don't do this like you're
The
triggered. Come on, fuck off. I'm so sick of
no,
this.
no.
This is the biggest like trope in the world that is the most obnoxious thing in the world.